Hey there, my loyal fan base. I know this is different than my usual intro, but I really wanted to say to all of you that I'm sorry for being gone so long. I've been going through a lot lately, and I know that I should be trying harder to get these videos out to you guys, and a lot of my friends have been trying to help me with that, but it just keeps on getting harder and harder to do this, so I hope you'll continue to be patient and loyal with me. But with all that said, please welcome me back with What If Deku Had Mahito's Abilities Part 5. Let's roll that intro and get into it.
I honestly don't think you can become a hero.
The class was watching the spectacle between Ida and Izuku, not really getting involved, but all of them started to hear small explosions. Everybody turned their heads to see Bakugo making his way towards the front of the class, looking very pissed as hell. "Deku, what the hell are you doing here?" Izuku rolled his eyes as he actually got behind Toga playfully. "Well, you see, I tried out for the school and I got a letter in the mail saying I should be here." Bakugo got even more angry as he tried to get closer to grab Deku from behind Toga, but every time he tried to grab him, she would move her body or her arm to keep him away. "Get the hell out of the way, you dumb bitch." Toga chuckles, enjoying playing the middleman in this entire fight. "This is making me feel like I'm dancing with the both of you, boys fighting for my affection. It's so adorable." Deku leaned back with some dramatics that he was acting up as he put one of his hands over his forehead. "Oh, my sweet Toga, you dare cheat on me with another man. I understand that he's loud, but I don't think he has what you need. Well, after seeing you use me as a wall, maybe I should look somewhere else." Bakugo's hands clenched tight as he felt like he was about to see red, the both of them playing with him as he let off a giant explosion from his hand. "I'm gonna kill the both of you if you don't start explaining yourself, Deku." Ida, who had been frazzled by this entire situation, finally got back together as he started to karate chop the air right in front of Bakugo. "This seriously is non-hero behavior. I will make sure to report you to the teacher for harassment and attempt of harm." "Shove it, Four Eyes. This has nothing to do with you. I want to know how a quirkless nobody who used to be afraid of his own shadow is now acting like he belongs here." Deku chuckled as he put both of his hands up, trying to defuse the situation, putting Toga behind him now, and was now standing between Ida and Bakugo. "Oh, is that what you wanted to know? You should have started with that. God, I haven't seen you for months and you're showing how jealous you are? Is it because she's blonde? Do you feel replaced?" To everyone who was listening, they couldn't help but laugh a little bit, watching Izuku trying to defuse the situation with comedy. Bakugo, on the other hand, grabbed him by his shirt and started to pull him closer with rage in his eyes. "Make one more joke or look at me like I'm your fool and I'm going to blast your head off. Explain why you are here and who she is. I've never seen the both of you together before, so she has to be something new." Izuku tried his best to hold his smile, but he was just getting annoyed watching his former bully act like he still owned him. Allowing his mask to slip for just a few seconds, he smacks away the hands. While Bakugo was surprised, he punched him right in the throat. Realizing what he just did, he shook his head, trying to calm himself. "Oh my god, I'm so sorry, Bakugo. It's just that during the summer my mom had me take some defense classes, and that was one of the things I've been learning to automatically respond to. I hope you're okay." Ida kneels down to help Bakugo, shocked but can also understand the situation. "And this is why you should have used your words. We could have avoided this whole situation if you would have just kept your hands to yourself." He then looks up at Izuku. "But I will say that was a little bit of excessive force. I can understand if you've been taking taking lessons so they might become habit, but you might want to work on that. Bakugo was coughing, trying to catch some air in his lungs for a few seconds, but there was something he saw in Izuku's eyes within those few seconds when he was punched in the throat that didn't look normal. As he staggered to his feet holding his throat, he started to light explosions in his hands, getting ready to attack. "That's it, you're dead!" As he was getting ready to attack, the explosion seemed to fade out as he flicked his wrist a few times, trying to see what was going on, only for a man who was coming up from behind the desk with his eyes glowing red, hair floating upwards, and an annoyed look on his face would appear. "It's not even past first period and you're making all this noise. Take your seats before I expel all of you." Ida and Toga quickly took their seats, but for a moment Bakugo and Deku stood there staring at each other before they finally took their seat. The tired-looking man finally stood in front of everybody, shaking his head in disappointment. "Alright, I'm your homeroom teacher, Eraserhead, and I have to say I'm disappointed so far from what I've seen." He then pulls out a gym uniform. "Put these on and meet me outside." We cut forward to the end of school where Toga was tugging Izuku away, trying to get to the train station. "Come on, I know you want to stay here and fight him, but it's not the time." Deku's eyes looked like he was ready to murder someone, dealing with the constant harassment today from Bakugo acting like he owes him an explanation. But he took a deep breath and breathed out, "I know, but I just can't stand him. He makes my blood boil all the way to the top. I know, I don't like him either, but if you're going to kill someone, maybe do it somewhere else." As the both of them finally start making their way to the train station, the both of them see a pair of students talking about a special flyer. "Hey dude, did you hear? Mount Lady's doing a meet and greet in Shibuya in a few days." "I know, man. I'm going to skip school to get an autograph from her." "Same here. I can't wait to meet her. I've been hearing all over social media there might be hundreds of thousands of people going to this meet and greet." Izuku watched the two idiots walk past them as he got a smile on his face looking over at Toga. "I think I figured out what's going to help me get rid of all that stress and annoyance now." Toga smiled at him. As a few days passed, Izuku was sitting in his class in the back row right next to the window, tapping his finger. As All Might walked into the room, holding onto the door frame as he leaned forward. "I am here, coming through the door like a normal person." As he makes his way to the front of the class, walking like a machine, people were a mixture of laughter and excitement, getting to see the #1 hero become their combat instructor. Deku was laughing hysterically, seeming to think All Might's joke was a lot more funny than it actually was. "Oh my god, I gotta try that sometimes. It looks so funny." All Might smiled, seeing that someone understood his sense of humor. "Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but it's time for us to start getting more serious. It's time for us to take things 2 notches higher with some combat training." As everybody gets excited, we cut away to the city of Shibuya as people were meeting around town center where everyone was gathering to get an autograph from Mount Lady. Izuku had changed his appearance to be at least 6 feet tall with a thin body and long back hair, and his right eye was now purple. While wearing jeans and a baggy t-shirt, he was waiting in line with the others as he finally got called up to the table. Mount Lady smiled at him. "Hello there, I'm glad to see that you could make it for the event." She holds out her hand for a handshake. Deku grabs a hold of the hand gently and shakes it as he smiles back at her. "The pleasure is all mine. I'm such a huge fan." Mount Lady started to feel a little uncomfortable, realizing that the handshake was going on a little longer than she wanted to, as she grabbed one of the photos that she was going to sign for him. "Right, and who should I be making this out to? Oh, you can make it out to the Maker. Mount Lady's eyes shot open as she started to see the person that was in front of her grow in size while they warped and twisted and started to look like some kind of demon. She quickly tried to grab her hand back, but something wasn't right. She started to cough, trying to breathe, but it's almost like she was being suffocated. What did you do to me? Deku started to laugh in a distorted voice as he ripped through his jacket, revealing his upper half to be a lot more pale and chiseled than it was before. As a scale-like pattern starts to show on his chest, his face looks like it doesn't even have eyes, as his mouth looks like it has multiple rows of teeth. His arms were growing bigger, and his hands were growing claws. And why would I tell you that when you're about to experience it? The crowd started to run as they saw the Maker. The police started to move forward but kept their distance as they pulled out their pistols, but what really started to confuse them is that Mount Lady seemed to be growing in size for some weird reason right in front of the Maker, while holding onto her throat like she was being suffocated. Deku started to walk backwards until he turned around to run, making it seem like he was running for the crowd. Police started to open fire, but their bullets just bounced off of him, but instead of attacking the crowd, he lunged at one of the skyscrapers and started to climb upwards. While he was climbing up, he kept an eye on Mount Lady as she continued to grow, but something was off about it. She looked like she was swelling instead of naturally growing. As he finally made his way to the top of the skyscraper, he looked down on the entire situation. What's the matter, hero? You don't look so good. But don't worry, you're going to be gorgeous in your final moments. Mount Lady wanted to say something, but she couldn't breathe. She could just keep on getting bigger and bigger, but what frightened her more was that she was getting taller than she would naturally, and her arms and legs are starting to feel like they're swelling like balloons. She could feel bio in the back of her throat that she wanted to throw up, but nothing would come out. All she could do was cry, only for her to see in the corner of her eyes as her head started to tilt upwards from the swelling. Kamui Woods was swinging onto the scene. As he was using his wooden branches to climb and swing around the building and land on top of it, right where the Maker was. What have you done to Mount Lady, Maker? Make it stop now. Deku turned to look at him. Oh, are you her knight in shining armor in this moment? As a creepy smile seems to take up most of where his face should be. Sorry to tell you this, lover boy, but the princess is already dead. Kamui Woods rushes forward, striking out with wood-like whips at the Maker. You're going to reverse this before that happens. Deku swipes at the whip, breaking the wooden weapon. As he goes for a forward charge, his shoulder is impaled by a branch from behind. Oh, you son of a bitch, that hurt. Kamui Woods looks over at Mount Lady, seeing that she looks like she's in extreme pain and doesn't have much time left. As the wood starts to separate and wrap around Deku's body, I've captured you, and if you don't want to get hurt anymore, you're going to fix her, or I'm going to crush you within my wooden cage. Deku looked over and sees that even if he wanted to do something, it was too late. You fail, hero. Before anything else could be done, Mount Lady's body exploded out like a giant gory bloody fountain. The amount of blood that was going out of her body was like that of a tidal wave, as certain buildings started to creak and crumble underneath the pressure. Skyscrapers got knocked over by her arms and legs being shot off in different directions. Even the building both of them were standing on was hit, as Deku broke out of the wooden binding as he saw the hero starting to fall towards him. He then punched Kamui Woods away into one of the nearby collapsing buildings. As he saw that he was falling towards the ground himself, he quickly reached out his arm as it started to stretch and drag down the side of the building as he went down with a hard landing street level. He was an amazing firework. I wonder how many people died in the streets that I am standing in now. Hundreds, thousands, millions, Who knows? Let the dominoes fall that used to be this great city, and let the children drown in her blood just like she did. As parts of the city was still flooded with the extra amount of blood, the cries of the citizen, and the collapse of multiple buildings knocking into one another could be heard, but the most sick and twisted thing that anybody who survived so far could hear is the Maker tap dancing while singing in the rain. Like this is some kind of weird stage play for him. As he was about to hit the major tap dance part of the song, wooden spikes come out of the ground and try to shish kebab him, only to miss by a few inches. Kamui Woods was howling out of one of the buildings as it was collapsing behind him, looking like he got caught in the debris but was able to dig his way out. "You monster! Do you realize what you have done? How many people you have killed? You took the love of my life from me. You will not be leaving here alive." Deku got a big smile on his face as he was getting ready to move forward for another attack when he got scorched from behind, sending him to the pavement and skidding away. Who the hell did that? Those flames hurt. As he looks up slowly, impressively surprised and happy to see the number 2 hero, who was just arriving on the scene from a helicopter, using his flames to slowly propel himself downwards. As Endeavor finally touches down on the ground, Izuku gets back onto his feet as he has a wicked and corrupted smile that gets bigger by the second. Oh, now this just got interesting. I'm such big news that the number 2 hero came here. Don't I feel honored? Endeavor glared at Deku, shooting out a pillar of fire, but instead of hitting him, it made a dividing wall between him and Kamui Woods. "Get out of here. Your ability is not good to be fighting against the Maker. Help with evacuation and get the civilians as far away as possible. You don't seriously think I'm going to just leave after what he did to her? She meant everything to me, and I'm not going to run away like a coward." Deku came running through the flame pillar like he didn't care, but to Kamui Woods he looked like a demon from hell. "And what makes you think that you get a say in the matter? You die here just like her." Just as he brought his hand up to slash at the enraged hero, his hand stops mid-swing like something was preventing him from moving forward. As he tries to use his strength to continue moving forward, it seems like he was being pulled back. Why can't I move forward? Genis revealed himself from behind some rubble as he was holding tightly onto some strings that he was manipulating. "Well, you're a strong one. Crazy too, but don't think that you'll break through my threads that easily." Kamui Woods smiled, seeing this opportunity. "Burn in hell, Maker!" Endeavor tried to move quickly to stop the impulsive hero, but was too late. "Don't do it, it's what he wants." Kamui Woods wasn't listening as he brought down a sharp piece of wood like a blade right on the chest cavity of the Maker, but at the same time broke the strings that were keeping him restrained. "I know what I'm doing. He should be incapacitated from that." "You would think, dumbass, but thank you for freeing me. I'll give you a quick death for it." As his body started to seal itself back up, he brings his arm back and causes it to spin like a Beyblade as he was about to cut down the hero right in front of him, only to be shot by another flame pillar, sending him flying into a nearby building as Endeavor quickly grabs Kamui Woods by his outfit, looking at him with an intense stare. "Your emotions are going to get you killed if you continue to fight him the way you are. You obviously haven't read his profile. He's been fucking with you this entire time. Now do as I say and handle the evacuation." Kamui Woods was trying to get out of Endeavor's grip, rage still in his mind, not listening to the logic of the experienced hero. "I have to fight him to get vengeance for her." Genis quickly moves in front of the both of them as he puts up a thread-like barrier as a giant drill comes out of the pile of rubble that Deku was in. "Endeavor, get your head in the game. Either knock him out or we have to risk fighting alongside him. Endeavor looked at the situation and the young pro still in his hand. Genus, hold him off for a minute. I'll join you shortly. Genus nods as he moves forward to continue attacking. Deku comes out of the debris, slashing and extending parts of his limbs at the fiber hero. As the both of them are basically dragged away in their fight into the destroyed city, Endeavor looks at Kamui Woods with disgust and annoyance. You honor somebody's memory by getting yourself killed? I had him. I could have fought him off. What's the difference between me and you two when it comes to taking down the Maker? A level head and experience. You are fighting with rage in your mind. I understand the situation is dire, but we can't have another hero dying in this disaster. On my way here, the death count was already in the hundreds and soon to be in the thousands. Your ability can help save lives, so if you want to honor Mount Lady's name in your form of love, then get out there and start saving lives and get out of our way. Kamui Woods looked around at the destroyed city, the blood that was dripping from his boots and still a little bit from the air, the pieces of flesh that were brushed against the buildings. His vision was starting to blur and focus, going back and forth. And you guaranteed that you'll bring the Maker to justice. What I consider justice and what you consider justice are two different things in the moment. Now do as you're told. Genus needs me to back him up. Kamui Woods watches Endeavor run back into the battlefield. As he stands there for a moment, he kneels down to a puddle of blood and puts his hand on it. He then brings it up to his mask, allowing the handprint of blood to paint on it. For you, sweetheart, I will save as many as I can for you. As we find ourselves back in the destroyed building, Genus was jumping back, using his thread to slice through chunks of debris that were being tossed at him. Deku ran forward as he kept on slashing and grabbing towards the hero, only to miss by inches or to break some kind of thread-like construct. You really are a monster. What kind of goal are you aiming for here? What do you win by killing so many people and destroying an innocent city? Deku backflips, avoiding some of the threads that were trying to bind him as he lands on a piece of debris that allows him to look down on the hero. I have many reasons on why I do this. I could say it's because I'm just mad at the world. It could be that the fact that for so long in my life society looked down on people like me, so I guess I just wanted to prove them right. But to be honest, sometimes I don't even know myself why I do this. So you really are insane. No, I'm an entertainer, an artist painting the world in its true image, letting the ugliness underneath finally be seen, only for him to be shot with a massive flame, causing him to crash onto the ground and be burnt on his left arm as he hit the ground hard. The only ugly thing I see here is you. I would ask for you to surrender and turn yourself in quietly, but we're obviously past that point. As he starts to step forward, burning the ground underneath his shoe, but if you want to surprise me, then please surrender. Deku slowly gets up from the ground as he pops his arm back into place as his flesh starts to slowly remove the burnt flesh. As he reaches into his mouth, he pulls out some kind of weird stone with a face on it. No, I choose to fight. I was hoping you would say that. Deku tossed the weird stone that he pulled out of his mouth into the air towards Endeavor, who was getting ready to burn the weird object before it got too close to him, only for Genus to use his threads to pull Endeavor out of the way as the stone started to grow and morph into a small humanoid creature with horns on it. Its head starts to make a jagged mouth with multiple eyes as its limbs start to grow even bigger. What the hell is that thing? That is one of his mutated creatures. He nearly got me with one of those things earlier. As he puts his hand on his left side, showing a little bit of blood. I don't know if it's some kind of sick trick that he has them do, but they seem to be able to talk like people. Endeavor was on guard as his flames were waiting for the creature to make a move along with the Maker. What do you mean it talks like people? The weird creature creature starts to charge forward, using its limbs to move at fast speed, impacting the ground like a harsh wrecking ball. The creature's jaw tries to leap out at the heroes, trying to chomp them in half, but they would leap out of the way at the last second. Help me, it hurts. It hurts so bad. Deku laughs in amusement as he stood on top of one of the rock piles. This is only the beginning. By the time I'm done with this battle, you will join my collection. But that's where I'm gonna leave it off this time, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was worth the wait, and don't worry, there are definitely more videos to come after this one. But with all that said, I'm out. Peace.